friends. I'm actually recording this on Wednesday because this is kind of like the last somewhat decent weather day and I just needed to get outside. So that's why I'm outside today, because when I send you this video, which should be on Friday, supposedly it's going to be snowing, so that's why it looks kind of funny right now. But here it's chapter 27. The buzzer rings and Andrew beats me to the front door, tossing it open to reveal a waterlogged Nina and an obviously angry Richie. I rush out and throw my arms around Nina's neck. She tightens up in my grip, like she's not used to being hugged, but I don't care. I'm too happy to see her to stop. Nina, I'm so glad you're okay. Pulling back, she gives a half smile. Yeah, well, me too. I thought you were goners. What happened to you guys? Richie asked, his deep brown eyes landing on me skeptically. 1 minute Nina was hogging the bathroom with that stupid water flosser of hers, and the next she's calling me in a panic, saying there's a ghost after her. Take a step back and stare at Nina. You said that? That a ghost was after you? She nods and her cheeks flush pink. Listen, I didn't just agree to help you with all this because I like you. I mean, I do, but I also think you need help. So you agree that what's happening to me isn't just my imagination? I ask, hope soaring through me for the first time since we left Fort Myers. If Nina believes me, if a girl who is obviously this smart honestly believes I'm being haunted, then I can't be wrong. Nina nods. The smile that stretches across her face isn't shy or nervous, it's happy. Whoever thought a terrifying paranormal experience could bring me such an amazing new friend? And something tells me it's helping her too. I'm starting to think investigating this ghost is showing Nina how awesome she actually is. Maybe this is a new Nina, a more confident one. Clapping suddenly, Andrew draws a scream from Nina. She looks at me sheepishly, and the four of us burst into laughter. Okay, so Nina is still a little on edge. Think you guys are up for doing some research on Inez or Amos or whoever seems to be following Tess around? Tess. My parents call me that all the time. But sounds nicer, more sophisticated coming from him. I think I like it. Richie holds his hands up in the air. I'm not committing to anything until I know exactly what kind of research you're talking about. Is this like the time you asked me to help you figure out if catnip affects humans? No. And how many times do I have to say I'm sorry about that? Andrew asked, tossing his own hands in the air in annoyance. We were 8. You dumped it directly into my nostrils. I couldn't breathe right for a week, Richie shouts. The image in my head is too funny and I can't help it. I start laughing. Why would you think catnip would do something to Richie? I manage to ask between giggles. Andrew shrugs and fights off a laugh. I don't know. I just thought it would be great if it did. He paws at the air like a demented cat, and Richie mutters something about not being able to smell anything but mint and leaves for days. Those two. What I wouldn't give to have known them as long as they've known each other. Nina tips her head toward the kitchen. Is that where your computer is? Should we get working? Agreed, but the laptop is actually upstairs. Come on. I take Nina's and Richie's jackets and toss them onto the couch, then I gesture for them to follow me. Even with 3 friends at my back, I'm still nervous in here. Still feel like I'm being watched. We march up the steps slowly, quietly. This is the painting, I whisper, stopping in the dim stairwell to show them the image that seems to darken with each hour that passes. The winding tendrils are completely brown and the petals are faded. The smudge in the corner is still there too, like a warning. I'm here and I'm not leaving until you give me what I want. A creak from the top of the stairs draws my attention and I inhale deeply, preparing myself for the possibility that the crackling is coming. Turning to look at Richie, I notice that his face has gone white. His jaw clenches and unclenches, but he stays silent. Are you okay? I ask him, but I get nothing in return but a curt nod and wide, worried eyes. This guy is more nervous in this house than I am. The creak at the top of the stairs comes again, louder this time, and Richie turns on his heel as if to run. Hey, where do you think you're going? Andrew grabs the hood of Richie's sweatshirt and pulls him back. No way are we going to get eaten or maimed by this thing, and you're going to just be hanging out at home with that stupid tub of cheese puffs you have hidden under your bed. Shut up about my cheese puffs, Richie hisses, scrambling out of Andrew's grip. And for the record, I'm not scared. I just don't think I have anything to add here. Andrew smirks. Fortunately, though, he's got the good sense to stay quiet. Richie looks like he's about to black out, and I'm positive Andrew's sarcasm is not going to help. A muted thump travels down the stairs, and I rub at my arms, trying uselessly to make the goosebumps go away. I would say that's nothing, but that would obviously be a lie, Andrew finishes. His eyes land on mine, and he winks. Come on, Florida. No fear. This ghost obviously doesn't want to hurt you, or she would have done it already. So let's just ignore the sounds, get the computer, and figure out who's buried in that cemetery. Nina slips a tiny camera out of her pocket and begins fitting it into a clear plastic case. Then she attaches the case to some kind of strap and slips it onto her head. The camera rests against her forehead, and its giant eye stares at me. "What? Are you videoing?" I ask. "Absolutely. If there's some kind of presence in your house, I want to catch it on this." She gently taps the camera, which I now notice says Hero in the front. The musty light bulb in my brain turns on. It's a GoPro. Tons of kids had them back in Florida for surfing and snorkeling and fishing on the beach. I guess I didn't realize that city kids had anything as interesting to record. Nina turns and lets her camera fully take in the painting before we continue moving up. Rounding the banister at the top, I leap into the center of the hallway and turn a full circle. Crickets. "What are you doing?" Andrew laughs. His eyes are crinkled up by the giant smile that's plastered onto his face. "Are you trying to surprise the ghost? Because I'm not sure how that's gonna work." "Oh, shut up. How would you know the way it works anyway? Do you have an artistically talented ghost in your house?" I stop speaking suddenly. The idea is so simple, I don't know how I didn't think of it before. Wait, maybe that's it. Andrew stops laughing and tips his head to the side in confusion. "What's it?" "The drawings." I fling my door open, no longer worried about what might be on the other side. I never thought about it before, but if this ghost is a ghost of Inez Clark, why is she trying so hard to reach me through drawings? He thinks on this for a moment, his eyes suddenly lining up like fireworks on the 4th of July. "Because you like to draw?" "Bingo!" I yell. Reaching into my desk, I pull up the sketch pad with the glass box drawn in it. I hold the image up. Andrew and Nina gasp in unison. "Whoa, that's the statue!" Nina pulls the sketch pad from my hands and holds it up for the camera. "It's so obviously this exact same one." I nod. Now that I've seen the real tombstone, I completely believe that Inez Clark is behind the creep show going on in my house. The drawings, the crying, and the rattling doorknob, Reno. I look at the corner Reno appeared in that night, grateful to see it's empty. "Look, this is a good pastel drawing. A great one, actually." Richie crosses the room in a few short strides and stares down at it. I hadn't noticed before, but he came from the window. Something tells me he was looking out and wishing he wasn't stuck in this place. Poor guy. Looks like he's actually seen a ghost instead of just hearing about one. "This is really good, Tessa. And you have no idea who did it?" he asked. "None. Only that they keep adding to it. Almost daily there's more drawn, but I never see signs that anyone has been in here." Andrew narrows his eyes at the image, then looks at me. "Why isn't there a face, though? It's like it's almost an outline." "Exactly. Only a real pastel artist starts with an outline like this." I'm so excited that I'm almost screaming, yet Andrew still looks lost. "I'm saying maybe that's the connection." I tell myself to slow down before I lose Andrew completely. Let's start at the beginning. It seems like this ghost is a girl, Inez. It also seems like maybe she liked to draw, and that's why she's haunting me. I remember about the crying I heard in the hallway, and how it didn't sound like Jonah. It definitely sounded like a girl. Maybe the graveyard records have it all wrong. Maybe Inez Clark isn't the one who didn't exist. After all, what proof do we have that Amos Briggs ever existed? None. Andrew stays perfectly still for a minute, deep in thought. His eyes flick back and forth between the drawing and me. Then he exhales. "Smart, Tessa. That could be it." "I don't know," Nina says. Her voice sounds skeptical. "She was only 6 when she died. Could a 6-year-old be this good at drawing?" She has a point. But outlines are the very first thing that an artist who works with pastel learn. And the other drawings I found, the secret ones from behind the brick, are pretty rough. If I connect those to Inez somehow, maybe this all makes more sense than we thought. It's possible Inez was just learning to draw, and that's why the images weren't all complete. "What other connection is there?" Andrew asked Nina. "Tessa's not from Chicago. She's not dead." I punch him in the arm. "That was mean, and she could be listening." "Fine." He looks up at my ceiling. "I didn't mean it, Inez." I made a tisking sound at him. "Better hope she forgives you, unless you want her following you home, that is." "I'd rather stuff catnip in my nose," Andrew admits sheepishly. This time it's my turn to laugh at him, and I do, hard. Richie and Nina laugh along with me, and for a moment I forget why we're here. Then there's something ominous in my new house, and I've recruited my only friends in this entire city to help me solve it. It might not be the start I was hoping for here in Chicago, but it isn't the end of my life either. And Inez, if she is the one haunting me, she better watch out, because thanks to these guys, I'm on her trail. That's the end of that chapter. Comment your thoughts.